All right, it is a cold, rainy day here in London where I live, and I thought, well, you know what, let's get a little dark on the banjo too. And there's no better way to do that than to play with Sawmill Tuning. So that's what we're looking at in this video. Now, before we get too far into it, I got a favor to ask you. I'm pretty new to this whole YouTube thing. I've been doing it a couple months. I'm trying to grow the channel. If you find this useful, it would be super helpful to me if you could just drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more. A comment is awesome. Anything you can do, I really appreciate. It helps grow the channel. It helps motivate me to make more stuff like this. Now, in this video, we're going to look at a few things. We are first going to look at how to tune your banjo to Sawmill tuning, so how to get it into tune. Then we are going to look at the 3 most common chords in this tuning. So when you learn these 3, you're going to be able to basically play just about any song out there that uses Sawmill tuning. Then we will take a quick look at the G Dorian mode scale. Don't worry, it sounds scarier than it is. This is basically going to help you figure out songs and noodle around and play around with Sawmill tuning effectively and have a lot of fun with it. And then we'll see how those fit into some classic songs like Cluck Old Hen and Cuckoo Bird. So the first thing you're going to do is get your banjo into Sawmill tuning. Now, you're probably in standard open G right now, so we'll start there. If you're not, that's just G, D, G, B, and D. And when you strum that, that's an open G chord. All you're going to do, I'm going to clip on my tuner here. This is really easy. You're just going to raise your second string from a B to a C. Okay, so now when you play that, that's no longer a G chord, that's a G suspended 4th chord. And you've also just learned the first chord in Sawmill tuning, the G suspended 4th. So the next chord you want to learn is a D. And all you're going to do is you're going to take your middle finger and you're going to put it on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. You're going to take your index finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Strum that, you got a D. All right, now the last chord is an F. So you're going to take your middle finger and put it on the 4th string at the 3rd fret. You are going to take your index finger and put it on the 2nd string of, or I'm sorry, the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And then your index finger, and you're going to put that on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And now what I would do is, if these are new chords for you, just kind of practice moving between them. So, you know. Just play around until it sounds reasonably smooth, right? It might take you a little while, that's okay. Get comfortable with these chords. Okay, so now let's quickly look at the G Dorian mode scale. If you're playing a Sawmill tuning song, this is where you're going to find the melody notes for the most part. So above me, I've popped up the first 5 frets, so where all those notes appear in the first 5 frets in your banjo, and that sounds like this. You know, and I think it's worth sort of memorizing those, and it's actually a pretty easy pattern. So you've got open, 2, 3, open, 2, 3, open, open, 2, 3, 5. And the way I kind of think about it is I almost kind of memorize the shape of it, right? I find that easier than sort of trying to think about the notes. If you just learn the top couple of strings, you're going to be able to pick out the melodies of songs in this tuning much easier. All right, so let's see this in practice, right? Because this whole music theory thing is not much use if we can't actually have some fun and play around with it, right? So what we're going to do is let's take a look at Cluck Old Hen. So Cluck Old Hen is a song I've covered here before. Just to remind you, it sounds like this. Now I'm going to, what I just played, I'm going to pop up the line of tab above me. And what you're going to notice is that every single note in there is in that G Dorian mode scale. And by the way, if you haven't already, I'll put a link in the description. You can get the tab for this and Cuckoo Bird, which we're about to play, for free on banjoskills.com. So let's look at Cuckoo Bird. This is another classic banjo song that uses Sawmill tuning. It sounds like this. And if I pop up the tab right there, what do we see? Again, we do not deviate from that Dorian G mode scale. So yeah, stick around in Sawmill Tuning. Practice that scale a little bit until you just kind of have those notes memorized, those couple of chords, and then you're free to noodle around, have some fun, come up with your own songs or play some of the classics. And again, tabs in the description if you want to learn a couple there. All right, I will see you next time.